Joining us to talk more about the size and scope of this, we have Jacqueline Milczarek with us. She's the founder of a group called Free Them. It is an organization that the goal is to end human trafficking. Good to see you, Shay.
Good morning.
So are you encouraged or more disheartened when you hear about the scope of this? I mean, this is huge, more than 100 children who were involved in this.
Yes, it's sweet sorrow. Like you're ecstatic that, of course, these children have been rescued and now can move on to next steps for rehabilitation and restoration. But it's completely horrific that in the United States and even in Canada, that this is an issue that we have to fight.
Yeah, and you, more than any of us, probably so aware of how big a problem this is. Speak to that. I mean, how big a problem is it? This is one sting that ended with arrests.
Right.
But
it would be great for Canada to actually learn from the U.S. and the FBI and the tactical teams that they saw across. There were 76 cities involved.
Mm-hmm.
And in Canada last year, the federal government had reported that over 45,000 children are missing in Canada. And so when you
45,000?
45,000.
But believed to be missing and involved in sex trafficking? Okay.
Just missing. But when you look at a case like this, and I'm convinced through what I've learned over the years in fighting human trafficking, that once a child is gone missing, if they don't recover the body, I truly believe you're going to end up finding them in some form of slavery. And with children,
Right.
It's usually sexual exploitation or forced labor here in Canada.
So statistically, you know, of that 45,000 missing,
I've reported from the federal government, yes.
Huge percentage that is likely entrapped, enslaved this way.
Correct.
So I want to ask you, how did they get at these kids to begin with?
Mm-hmm. It's a great question. And a lot of people will say it's, you know, the typical, you come from a broken home,
Right.
you're a runaway, a youth at risk. And that is true. But, you know, we've come on television before to speak with you about how sometimes it's also that boyfriend-girlfriend relationship that these older men, and not too much older, but 18, 19, 20, lure these vulnerable girls, whether offering them the boyfriend dream or giving them the opportunity where they think they're going to make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And they're on places like Backpage.com, Craigslist, the Toronto Sun, Now Magazine, on social media. So there's all different tactics and tools that these pimps and traffickers are using to lure in the most vulnerable.
But the other part of it is there's still a market for this, right? And many blame the internet for that it's easily accessible, child pornography. So the lesson from this is what you're actually calling for Canadian forces to beef up what they do, that we can see the size and scope of something like this happening here in Canada. We've seen some success here, though.
Last June, we did get our national strategy now at a federal level, so we do have budget for that. And I think it would be a fantastic thing to have the federal government do a sweep similar to what the United States did nationwide, to go in and look in the casinos, in the strip clubs, in massage parlors, trying to find these young girls and children. The average age of entry in Canada is just 13 years old. And like these cases in the States, the youngest found was 13, but entered in at 9. 9 and 11 years old, 2 victims had testified to that. So Canada, we do need to wake up. You know, these are our children that are suffering, and they deserve freedom and liberty here.
I know you'll be joining us again. Jacqueline Milczarek joining us. She is with the group called Free Them, the founder of that group, in fact. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks
Always
for
a
this.
pleasure. Thank you.